Hello everyone and welcome back to round 16 of season 2 of the F124 My Team career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Italian Grand Prix at the Autodromo Internazionale di Monza. Yes, we're back at the Temple of Speed this weekend. If you missed out on the video that went last week from the Dutch Grand Prix, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. I apologise, there hasn't been a lot of content on this channel in recent weeks. We've been very, very busy with some other stuff as well, but I am hoping that I can start bringing back both this series and co-op as well to you guys a bit more regularly in the near future. I've been very, very busy with some travels and things like that, and obviously, you know, this channel is just kind of obviously when I've got a bit of extra free time as well. They're taking a look at the Drivers' Championship. Charles Leclerc still leads the way 20 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and as we head to Monza, I'm sure he would love to try and win in front of the home crowd. Ferrari with a 34-point buffer as well over Mercedes there. We're still in 10th overall in the drivers' standings. The team currently still in 6th place after Perez. I was adamant he'd score points last time at Zandvoort as well, and unfortunately was not able to walk away with any for the team. Maybe he can get some this weekend, because the B-Spec car seems to be working quite well.
For over a century, the Temple of Speed has all come down to moments like this. Driver versus the stopwatch to set the grid for the Grand Prix. It is qualifying at Monza.
Well, as we make our way then out into qualifying, this is of course being done on the all-new 1.1 patch for F124. Luckily, unlike our Ferrari in the driver career mode, this thing still seems to sound as it should, which I guess is good news, because I got no idea what they've done to the Ferrari in this game, but it certainly does not sound how I would think it should sound there, as Charles Leclerc immediately goes top of the board on a 1:17. This circuit is big on speed, as we actually get the car just up on two wheels there down at the first corner. Want to be careful that we don't do that too often on this lap as well. But yeah, this thing, it doesn't seem to be settling as easily over the curves as I was hoping it would, at least in free practice. So still, I've made a few more little tweaks there to try and make it a little bit more forgiving and just a little bit more comfortable, because of course, a track like Monza, it is quite important that you ride the curbs as best as you can, as well as we make our way now onto the back. Right, is this the back straight, or is the back straight the one down in towards Parabolica? You guys have got to tell me down in the comments below, as so far just trying to get a good banker on the board, and when it doesn't seem to be going that way, half a second away from Bottas. The changes to the ERS have made things very, very difficult to manage now inside this game as well. It can do some peculiar things. There's one more corner to go. Straights have not been the best characteristic for this car either over the course of the season, but as we make the run up towards the finish line, we stayed last. We just might not have enough here. While every other car then on this grid provisionally is covered by less than a second. We are about 4/10 away though from Nico Hülkenberg, who's currently also going to join me on the back row, so hoping we can try and find a little bit more time on this second run as well then, as over the final corner up towards the start finish line. Let's just try and be a bit more strategic with our battery usage here. Even if we can just find a few extra tenths, it could make a big old difference there, as again car just gets up on two wheels through that first corner. Luckily that time round we're able to control it just a little bit better, and we do find a couple of tenths immediately through the first corner. The first half of the lap, definitely we can try and find a little bit more. And then I guess the second half is just going to be about trying to hang on to the car as best as we can, as that's nicely planted through the second chicane there. That's going to immediately pretty much bring us back in line with the time set by Hülkenberg just in front. Fernando Alonso goes up to the top of the board though. Gotta be careful I don't get too off put by the Spaniard there, who might be, I think he has spoiled Ferrari's session. I think Sainz and Leclerc still making their way down in towards the final couple of corners, as Charles Leclerc will immediately snatch it back from Alonso. So we've got a big battle going on at the front of the order. We are just trying to fight to be anywhere near everybody else here. One more corner to go. We are still 4/10 up. Are we going to end up last place on the grid at a circuit that I've often gone well at in previous years there? Big mistake through the final corner. Try and carry any semblance of speed though up towards the line. We stayed last. How bad is that? Well, Charles Leclerc and then Ferrari, the perfect start to the weekend. A 1-2 front row lockout ready for the GP tomorrow. Verstappen and Fernando Alonso will line up on row 2, but Leclerc's biggest threat in Lewis Hamilton all the way down in P12 there. It was incredibly fine margins come the end of qualifying, but we still, yeah, you can see on both laps we were giving it everything, and I think had we nailed it, we could have been up with around Zhou Guanyu and Daniel Ricciardo here, but the AI, they've definitely got quicker over 1 lap pace. We've just got to hope we've got a bit more pace as we head into the Grand Prix.
Monza, the oldest circuit on the calendar, which hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. Today we look forward to the Italian Grand Prix. This place is all about speed. It is a unique challenge. You've got the chicane at turn 1, the Variante Ascari at turns 8, 9 and 10, and the Parabolica to conclude things at 11. Top speeds pushing 215 miles per hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And the smooth operator, Carlos Sainz, completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Ocon, Albon, Norris, Teo Porcher, Sargent, Hamilton, Gasly, Iwasa, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Joe, Ricciardo, Stroll, Perez, Hülkenberg, and Mr. Monaco. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
Well, here we are then down on the grid, and despite plenty of grid penalties for other drivers, we are still finding ourselves right at the rear of the field. We've got to be prepared to try anything today, you know, change up the strategy, get the elbows out, anything like that, if we want to try and score some points. And had I thought about it, we probably should have put a whole fresh engine in the back of the car just to open up an extra one in the pool between now and the end of the season. I really wish at some point there would kind of be, you know, if you did that, it would cost you money inside the F1 game as well. F1 Manager does it, and it really does make you think about your decisions. F1 24, on the other hand, you can just keep throwing new engines in if you want, and obviously apart from the grid penalties, which don't even apply, maybe they do now in the new patch, I don't know, but yeah, you don't really get any downsides to doing that either. Ready though on the grid here in Italy. It's 5 red lights. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix there. Perez getting off to a very good getaway in front. Immediately, you're going to see a few cars fanning out as we make our way in towards the first corner. And Sergio really trying to make some moves then, as we've just got to try and work out where we want to go. I wanted to have a look to the outside of Hülkenberg. That's not going to happen, as we've got yellows out immediately as everybody tries to fire their way through the first corner. Looks like everyone has got through fairly clean and tidy. Yeah, Sergio Perez, one of the big winners in all of that. Lance Stroll started right towards the rear of the field. It's going to drop back even further through the first couple of corners. It's just nice and easy into the Della Roggia chicane as well. But there's plenty that can go wrong on lap 1, especially down at the rear of the field. But yeah, we want to make sure that we're still able to fight for the rest of the afternoon as well. I can't help but feel that Slipstream, DRS and battery management are going to really define this race, and hopefully we're going to be able to move our way up through the order. Of course, we took that gamble last time out at Zandvoort as well. Dropped to the rear of the field in that Grand Prix, and then was able to recover our way back up through. So hopefully we can try and do the same here today as well. As who is it? I think it is still going to be Leclerc, isn't it, leading the way by the end of lap 1, but he's got an Alpine for company. This has often been a track they run very well at. It's Sainz that leads. So I'm guessing, yeah, Leclerc must be right with him.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
So we've already got cars again fanning out in towards turn 1. Everybody just braking a little bit early. And that's what we've got to be able to do, capitalise on that. As sort of Stroll bobbles over the inside curve there, bounces off our side pod. I think he might have picked up front wing damage from that one. Lance Stroll awareness for you, ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell. Well, things are about to get even more crazy then now the DRS has been enabled here. You can see Perez right down on the inside of the venue in towards one banging wheels with Yuki Tsunoda. I feel like the AI now do get more aggressive with each other than they ever used to inside this game. As Zhou Guanyu trying to defend from ourselves. Can we go around the outside through Curva Grande? Feels very, very odd to have to be battling a Sauber so hard inside this game, but that is the state of affairs right now. As Zhou with a late defense, not a particularly strong one. And well, if we can keep gaining a position a lap...
Maneuver, you made it look so easy.
Yeah, we could be up into the lead with a handful of laps to spare. Perez and Tsunoda, V-Carb versus 212 Motorsport. They're meant to have made some big leaps forward with that car as well. Seem to be the other kind of backmarker team that has got to Aston Martin in terms of raw pace in this game, but none of us really able to showcase it this weekend. I think the Honda power unit is apparently still, yeah, the weakest in a straight line inside F1 24, and obviously both of the customer teams are really, really struggling here at the Temple of Speed. But yeah, Tsunoda now moving past Sergio. Does obviously feel quite weird that, well, yeah, we've ended up with a Red Bull kind of driver as well in our car, so all three of the Red Bull powered teams kind of working with the same driver pool. As Perez, what a move that is! Around the outside of Tsunoda, down through Ascari there. Fantastic move around the outside. Now we're going to try and capitalise and get the run on Daniel Ricciardo as well, who's now thinking about trying to go for a run on Yuki himself. What on earth is this? AI in this game certainly have become a whole lot more interesting in the most recent patch. As we make our way out in the final corner, those V-Carbs still side by side. Could we try and get the run on the pair of them? Back down in towards turn 1 as we're going to try and use the speed. 2 wheels on the grass. 1, 2, and 3 though navigated. Back down towards turn 1. One of them, Sergio Perez, tries to keep the nose up the inside there, but a triple overtake in towards the first corner. Things are getting intense. It's definitely heating up here early on. Well, we've latched onto the back then of the next train here, and I'm pretty certain this one extends right up towards the front of the order. So, well, Monza seems to be, as you would expect inside the F1 game, and basically, it's a NASCAR super speedway race. There can be 2x2 at a lot of spots as well, but everybody is still nose to tail. I don't think that's as much about kind of the game. You know, it is in obviously the AI trains that we normally see inside F1 24. This has always just been the case around the Temple of Speed. As we are starting to see more and more AI going for moves down the inside of Oscar Piastri. That wasn't actually a move I wanted to make in towards that first corner, but we kind of had to shove the car down the inside and hope that we could get it slowed down, which we just about will. I've been at P15 and we're still pretty much at our average of 1 position a lap, as I believe it's Alex Albon at the front of this group. That would explain why everybody is so bunched up behind. Because, yeah, the Williams, it's a quick car round here, or it's a quicker car round here. Still not a quick car. Oh, Bottas there, big moment on the exit of Ascari as well. Going to try and use a little bit of ERS even, to defend the place, and immediately you can see him try and go back into harvesting mode once more. And we go for the slow in, fast out approach there as Norris and Teo Pourchaire battling just up in front as well. Hopefully we'll be able to get the run on the flying fin this time as we make our way back down in towards someone. Keep trying to gain as much speed as we can. 226. We just touched there. Wow, into that first corner as everybody locks up. What on earth is this? We've got Hamilton battling Logan Sargent is a phrase I certainly never expected to say. But yeah, this group extends all the way up into, I think, P5, P6. It's just a handful of cars at the front of the order that have managed to break free, including both Ferraris. Don't crash into the back of my old teammate. Right, well, again then, let's try and drain the battery, see what speed we can get out of the car as we make our way back down towards turn 1. 225, 227, 230 miles an hour, as I believe that is pretty much VMAX in this car. Down in towards turn 1. We'll get around the outside of my former teammate Awasa in the process. A little bit of contact with Lando Norris as well there off of the corner as we try and put the power down. But yeah, I mean, at a venue like this, every single car, every single team, especially when the margins were so tight come the end of qualifying, you've surely got to believe you got a shot to get a good result here as well. We thought about a look down the inside of Norris as well. Looks like I think that might be Verstappen struggling a bit further up the order, and he might get claimed by this ridiculous train. Right, let's see if we can go for it again then. Back down towards that first corner. Open up that battery. Use all of the available ERS and DRS. 232! I was too busy looking at the speed. I almost went into the back of Norris. That is easily the quickest I think I've ever gone inside this game there. I still don't know what VMAX is in this car, but we've got to be pretty much right there, and that is utterly ridiculous. For those of you that use kilometers an hour, I can only assume that's got to be around 370, if I'm not mistaken as well. So absolutely mental speed around here, especially, you know, with a car with ground effect and things like that. Imagine a real car doing that. The porpoising would be insane. Well, we'll try and go for one more attempt as well then before we decide to dive into the pit lane. There we go. Again, you see we just absolutely fly through 220 miles an hour. 234! How much quicker can this car go? So we're going to make it 3 wide in towards turn 1 there. Little bit of wheel banging with Théo Pourchaire, who somehow will get down the middle of myself and Pierre Gasly. So 3 wide with 2 of Formula 1's fastest Frenchmen. It is the 3rd one, though, at the front of the order that's doing the best work at the moment. But almost into the points already then in this Grand Prix, as Russell and Sargent still battling just in front. Oh no, Russell trying to have a look down the inside of Sargent. He's going to move to the outside. And although that Williams might be quick around this venue, it certainly won't be running as much downforce as that Mercedes. Oh, Théo, come on, man. You got to give me some room, as we're going to box him in behind Logan. Williams is going to try and defend for all his might, and we're meant to be coming into the pit lane as we try and make our way through the final corner. Are we going to have a chance to? Is Sargent going to be in? No, he's not. So we don't even get a chance to pit that time round. And that might mean we have to stay out for 2 extra laps here, because of course we don't want to trip Perez over on his strategy either. Looks like many cars haven't dived into the pit lane. It's our Sargent. Little lock up there down in turn 1. We have to avoid it as more contact with Théo off the corner. And I tell you what, you cannot bully that Frenchman, eh? Oh, Gasly, I'm sorry. I've got to do it to you. Here we go, Théo Pourchaire again. This time we'll try and have a look down the outside, sorry. In towards Ascari there, and you can see committed fully on the brakes. In towards the corner. Can we try and get past Sargent as well then, as I would assume the American is going to be diving into the pit lane. I wonder how many more races we've got with him inside this series, whether he does get replaced by Franco Colapinto in the not too distant future, but I'm hoping that we are going to see our teammate in. Otherwise this has been a completely wasted extra lap in this race, draining the battery.
Look into changing your ERS mode in the MFD for a more conservative burn rate, or you might want to try some lifting or gentle braking to recharge.
There we go, Perez has dived into the pit lane as well. Thank you, Mark. So, yeah, we'll dive in at the end of this one. Well, tyre wear hasn't actually been much of a concern for us. It has been tyre temperature that has been the problem throughout this first stint. I was tempted to try going on to the softs, but because of that, we will opt for the hard compounded tyre, as we'll just about get the car slowed down into the pit lane here. George Russell just in front. Maybe he'll get held up there. As what position will we re-emerge in this Grand Prix? I can only assume we're going to lose out a little bit of time there, as Sainz and Leclerc still battling for that race lead.
That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting.
Not sure why we insisted on waiting so far behind Russell before the team had let us go. But I think we are still just about going to be inside the top 10 here, as Lando Norris closing in towards turn 1. We've got to try and get inside the range of Russell pretty soon. As, yeah, Albon and Hamilton kind of might be the only other cars we can battle with. While top group are still chasing each other down for fastest lap time here. Alonso as just try and snooker away that fastest lap bonus point. I am expecting the second half of this race to be a bit quieter than the first. But yeah, monitoring the gaps, we seem to be losing a little bit of time to Russell, but gaining just a little bit on Alex Albon, even I should say, just in front of him. So maybe if those two battle, we can try and get to them before the end of the afternoon. But only 11 laps to go. Obviously, yeah, the Italian Grand Prix, a very, very quick race. This one has absolutely flown by. Oh, here we go, Russell and Albon side by side up in front. And if they can continue to battle a little bit, that could certainly do us a lot of favours towards the end of the afternoon. As you can see instantly, the gap comes down another good 2-3 tenths to the Williams man. Only problem I've got now is if he can't get back past George, it might well be that he just kind of gets dragged along by the Merc towards the end. And any hope of seeing another car in the second half of this Grand Prix could kind of just disappear. Are we going to see him get the run back down in towards turn 1?
Remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
No. Albon and George Russell might now just start working together every single lap as well. Russell loses loads of time pretty much between turn 1 and the final corner, but he just knows as long as he stays in the range of Russell, he can pretty much get back to him down towards turn 1 here. 7 laps to go of the Grand Prix. I think, to be honest, to be able to score points at all based on the qualifying effort, we can be pretty happy with. We're not a million miles away from Checo Perez either. But yeah, see, Albon just rocks up to the back of that Merc into that turn 1. And basically knows he's safe again for another lap. Well, I guess the other interesting thing that might spice things up towards the end of this is Hamilton and Verstappen. Because of course it would be Hamilton and Verstappen now really battling it out towards the end of this one. And they've kind of fallen back into the clutches of Russell and maybe even Alex Albon as well. In fact, Albon now might just have lost the DRS to those two in front of him, so this could be critical late on in the day. Albon only 2.2 seconds in front of me. I just want to fight someone towards the end of this race, but yeah, he's definitely dropped out of the range for now. But I think with those three, I think going 3 wide back down towards turn 1, Hamilton's going to lose 2 spots in one go. It might well mean that Albon immediately gets back in the range again. And of course, the one other thing I've got to mention towards the end of the afternoon, because I'm worried if I don't, then I will jinx myself. We've had no mechanical issues for anybody today. We did have a mechanical issue last time out at Zandvoort as well. I would be rather gutted if we did end up with 2 in a row. What on earth is going on between Mercedes and Red Bull here? It's like 2021 all over again, but this time around Hamilton has got an ally in the fight at the front. Bottas, yeah, was admittedly a good number 2, but was never quite able to battle with Verstappen the way George Russell is right now. 3 laps to go of the Italian Grand Prix.
Tyres, we won't be making another pit stop.
And you can see now Albon's getting involved with his former teammate as well then, so all this battling is bringing us closer and closer towards the end of the afternoon. There's a big puff of smoke there. I think that came from one of those Mercedes cars. They've got to be really careful they don't come together, especially for Hamilton's title chances, when Ferrari have still got a 1-2. Oh, 2 more laps to go, and again they're almost 3 wide, back down in towards turn 1. We got yellow flags out. Valtteri Bottas, I think it is out of the Grand Prix there. As look at this now, we have finally got ourselves in the fight for some more points here. It's taken us the entirety of the second stint in this Grand Prix to get back here, but surely we deserve a reward for some good, consistent laps. Please don't bottle it now, Matt. Please don't bottle it now, Matt. Come on, stay in the range of Lewis Hamilton. We'll have to try and get a run out of the final corner against them all, as Hamilton immediately... Have we just instantly lost the DRS as soon as I was going to gain it there? Little mistake as we run wide out of Ascari there, but again, Verstappen will surely be able to get the run on Alex Albon here, and surely that is going to slow them all up in towards that chicane. Albon hooks it up around the outside of the Dutchman. We are going to close back in. Russell's absolutely waved goodbye to this little gaggle of cars, but we're going to be in a 4-way scrap with 10 Formula 1 World Championships here, and the Williams of Alex Albon, and myself. That at the final corner. 1 more lap to go here from the Temple of Speed, and we're going to have to wind it up once again and try to get as much straight line speed out of the car as we can. Verstappen and Hamilton, they're 4 wide as we make our way back down towards turn 1, but the ridiculous straight line speed of this car once again coming in clutch, and another triple overtake down at that first corner there. We flew through. I got no idea what speed we hit, but again, it must have been close to 230 miles an hour there, and that's exactly what we need. That's why we like the Honda Power Unit, because although, yeah, seemingly wasn't that good in qualifying, the gearing on it is pretty incredible, and with that move as well, we're going to become the highest Honda-powered ranked driver in this Grand Prix as well there. But at the front of the order, it is going to be Ferrari that are going to be smiling tonight. I don't believe Alonso has been able to get between them either, but I honestly don't know whether it's Sainz or Leclerc that is about to win this Grand Prix as they make their way in towards the final corner. Is Leclerc going to win in front of the Tifosi once again? Either way, he's extending his championship lead there. It is Leclerc, World Championship leader, that will take the dub here at Monza and will open up that gap over Lewis Hamilton through the final corner. We went purple in Sector 1, green in Sector 2. I don't think we got the battery, though. It is going to be a small improvement. P6 in the end.
What a performance! He's left the field behind. Charles Leclerc wins it.
To do it as a team on home soil, that really means something special. And you can see how much it means to them, the drivers involved as well. Great job by them today, of course, as always. But for the fans watching on too, a great display of teamwork here today.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit, familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
Well, there we go then. Charles Leclerc will take the victory here at the Autodromo Internazionale di Monza. A Ferrari 1-2 in the end, and one of their former drivers as well joining them on the podium. But my driver of the day has got to go to Esteban Ocon. Really did drag that Alpine around all weekend and deserves the big result that he's got there. Russell in 5th ahead of myself from the back of the grid, ahead of Hamilton, Verstappen, Albon and the other Alpine of Gasly rounding out your top 10 there. McLaren not able to get a single point this weekend, and once again disappointment for Sergio Perez, who's unable to score a point either. What does that do for the Drivers' Championship? Well, it opens up a 39-point buffer for Leclerc at the top of the table. Sainz as well, slowly moving his way back into contention here, as a few more points on the board for us will open up the gap ahead of Stroll, and we will cut that lead to Oscar Piastri as well. Ferrari, a 61-point lead now in the Constructors, 6 points in it between Red Bull and McLaren, but I tell you what, if Alonso can be quick and consistent, maybe he could drag Aston Martin back in that fight there as Alpine. They'll jump Williams with that result, and they will get a whole lot closer to V-Carb as well, with just a few rounds to go of the season. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.